What is up, Dorganisms of Deadlock? We're currently in the worst timeline for being a solo queue Doorman player, as the tens of us that exist have been punished for the crimes of the many kidnapped Doorman players that arose due to evil social media. But the nerfs they did to him didn't even really change Kidnap Doorman much, in my opinion. I fear showing this black magic to further inspire the Doorman fiends, Kidnap Doorman fiends. But if you just put a door high up on any walker and you put Message Expansion on your door, you can still put a door insanely far level 1 with no ability points or anything, and there's no way that early in the game you're going to be able to get up here as anybody besides like Mina or Wraith or something. So Kidnap Doorman still lives on and haunts all of us, but the rest of us have been punished for these crimes. So today I'm going to be telling you of a couple different ways that I would fix Doorman so that the Kidnap Doorman players die and the ethical gingers among us may live in peace and harmony. Okay, so the easiest way to fix it, in my opinion, is if you just make slowing heads stop people go through doors both ways. So what I mean by that is if you can either do this while allowing the door to stay open or give back his close ability. But what I mean by this is if I get slowing heads, I can't go through the door, and if I slowing heads the enemy can't go through the door. So what this will do is it'll allow you to still run away if you want to, but you'll have to spend a slowing heads or vortex web cooldown to escape, and it'll make it so that the Kidnap Doorman players that just rush Vortex Web won't be able to rush it and then throw that and make it basically unmissable, because you know it's this gigantic area without any other items that makes it really easy to kidnap people super early on. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things about it, is it makes it very simple and makes you rush a bunch of items. Another thing you could do is to stop Kidnap Doorman, because I assume that's what most people have a problem with, that and the ult, is cheat death. Just make it so you can't go through the door with cheat death. That might be too much. You can just still slowing heads them and make that a thing, but I think the two-way slowing heads is the easiest fits. The other fits they could do is, someone on Reddit said this, so I'm copying them, but they said that if you make the cooldown for closing the door proportional to the amount of time the door is up. So for instance, if I have this door up for 10 seconds and then I open the next door, you determine it based on that. So let's say I had this door open for 10 seconds and I just opened that one. Let's say you make the cooldown 5 seconds. I think that's a pretty cool idea. So like if you just shoot out both doors for a quick escape, you could close it really quick after. That's definitely an interesting idea. And then the last fits I would do for Doorman, those are just the fixes for the doors. I think the last thing everyone complains about is the ult, especially in, I don't mean to be a discriminator, but the like lower ranked people typically complain about is the ult, and especially the 13 seconds. Honestly, I think the 13 seconds is like, it sounds more oppressive than it is, because that really means you use it still once or twice in 2 team fights if the enemy can't get out, and even then it's still worse than, like, you know, a lot of big team fight ults. So it might be a little overtuned. I'm a little biased, but who knows. But one thing, like the only thing I would do to really, I think the only thing you really need to do to fix the ult is to make it so that it's easily counterspellable. So right now, if Doorman has max AP and he, you know, puts you in the hotel, no matter how well it's really hard to counterspell, but even if you counterspell it, you're gonna get stunned for an eternity, which just feels really bad, because I think it's enough utility for the Doorman to -1 stamina you. If you try to escape, use all your stamina, and if you can't escape, you use the counter spell and you burn that counter spell. You can do it like right there, but I think it makes more sense if it's easier to counter spell and then you're not stunned for 1.5 seconds. And then Doorman can still use setups but it won't do any damage to you, and maybe they could reduce the cooldown. I don't know. I don't think the cooldown's that big of a deal, but if you just change those things, I think people will feel a lot better about Doorman, and it will save the mighty few of us who play the Ginger Menace ethically and beautifully and responsibly. Thanks for watching.